Hi, good morning, and welcome to the ZP Developer Zone. So every Sunday at 8 a.m. London time, we like to do a webinar from Zimmer and Peacock, and it's just to cover the news from ZP for this week. So I will sort of jump into it and say we posted a video because a few weeks ago now we attended a conference called BES. It's about bioelectronics, or bioelectrochemistry rather. And at that conference and expo, there's a lot of the leading academics in the field. And so we were there to discuss some of the technologies from Zimmer and Peacock. So we talked about Julie, which is our cloud database for sharing, saving, and analyzing electrochemical data. And we also talked about our screen printed electrodes, because obviously these are good, not obviously, but these are good platforms for analyzing data. So we presented that this week on our blog. So some other news from Zimmer and Peacock for this week. We just put up a little note really about our project management team. So I think one of the things that makes ZP really strong is actually our project management. We have, if you were to have good processes or good services or good products within a business, anything really, that's project management is a really important aspect of it. And at ZP, what makes us really good at project management is actually the quality of the team, and then they have a pool of talented people to call upon to deliver. So we just wanted to kind of acknowledge that and say, how good the team really was, on the project management front. So thank you to the ZP team. And it makes us very good partners when people need ZP to sort of essentially work on a project with them. They know they're in good. They know they're in good hands then, because we often assign a project manager, and then the project manager essentially takes care of things. I just want to say hi to Aftab. Nice to see you this morning, Aftab. So a couple of blog items then that we put up this week. We talked about our attendance at BES, which was in Antwerp, and that was a academic, as I say, conference on biochemistry. Then we put up a little note about our project management team. Something that was significant for us is just recently we had our company meeting, and approximately sort of 2/3 of the company were able to attend. So I just want to kind of highlight that. I mean, as per normal with ZP, what made it really excellent was that 2/3 of the company were able to attend. We were able to present. But I think something that makes ZP very different is our culture. So it's not just, in some companies you have a sort of structure where, let's say, managers tell people what to do. In ZP, we think that you're basically hiring brains. So you should really be listening to what other people are essentially telling you. We have a very strong participation. So it's not just, let's say, Evan and I speaking, but we then get lots of people from our company to give their ideas or give their experiences, and help us make, let's say, a better company. And I think I saw a quote the other day which sort of said that you don't build businesses, you build people who build businesses. And I think that's a fair comment, actually, that if you think you've got a good business or you're onto a good thing, it's often the people that you've that you've brought into your team and the team that you've built that's really making that business great. It's not you as an individual or as a founder. It's actually the strength of the team. So we had a good company meeting. If you're watching the vlog, you'll see there's plenty of images of our guys at that company meeting, and I think the company meeting went really well. So if you want to join ZP, obviously, I mean, it's not easy, I would say. We do have a lot of people looking to join us, but I think it's a very joyful experience, when people have joined us. So we had a company meeting, and we put some images up on the website regarding that. Just something smaller. In our Coventry office at the moment, there's a lot of holidays going on around the world, and we had a sort of quick holiday egg hunt, we call it, in the Coventry office as well. Something that's sort of starting to change for us at ZP is we've always done the liquid phase, but we're starting to move now towards the gas phase. So you will see a series of gas sensors coming from Zimmer and Peacock. So we're very used to measuring things in blood and urine and sweat and saliva. Those, and even the soil these days. So these are either, sort of slurries or liquid phase. What we're starting to do now is truly work in the gas phase. And so we put a video out there this week which talks about our gas test rig. I mean, there's a whole series of what they call mass flow controllers on that gas rig. And there's also, gas cylinders, and we bring it all up into essentially a little chamber. And then we can sort of basically test these new sensors. So that's just a bit of it's small, but it's a significant bit of news from ZP that we will be able to start shipping gas sensors, let's say in the near future as well. So I just want to back up now and talk about a little bit more about this gas sensing technology that we're bringing. We have electronics that can detect or can work with these sensors, and we also have sensors that will obviously go into those electronics. So we are really working on the gas sensing technology as well. So it's probably worth watching our news streams regarding that. Now I appreciate that if you're watching this live, that the video stream might be a little bit up and down. I can promise you that everything's good here, but I think it might actually be YouTube itself. So something else that we also did our ZP Developer Zone webinar. We do this every Thursday 8 a.m. UK time, and in that webinar we discussed this week detecting iron, and we also discussed the cost of getting technology to the market. There's something in the US called the 510K route or the PMA route, and as part of our webinar this week we discussed that. And we also discussed the detection of iron in aqueous samples as well. And we did that. We discussed the iron for one of the members of our ZP Developer Zone. Something that we're very much... it's also probably worth saying as well that ZP is also becoming very interested these days in regulatory affairs. We are ISO 13485 ourselves, which means, we're sort of certified to be able to develop and manufacture electrochemical biosensors and IVDs. Now, as part of that, then we're sort of understanding the complexity of the regulatory landscape. It's almost a science and an engineering task in itself to get medical products approved. We recognize that, and we're providing it both as a service for our clients who come to us for biosensing, but also as a service to clients who've come to us without actually wanting our biosensor product. It's just a service in its own right. So that is something that we've put out onto the news this week, that ZP is opening up much more of a regulatory affairs and quality assurance service offering. This was quite nice this week as well. We've got for Zimmer Peacock, we make screen printed electrodes. I think we make one of the world's best, we do make the world's best screen printed carbon electrodes. Now, these carbon electrodes actually make for a very attractive substrate onto which people can do teaching labs. So people want to teach electrochemistry. They might want to teach cyclic voltammetry, and so therefore ZP's come up with a bit of a procedure where somebody can take one of our screen printed electrodes and they can do cyclic voltammetry on it, and they can get very nice results. And so we put some results up there that a collaborator had gathered, showing really fairly ideal behavior, and we also put some of our own data up there as well. So if I was to summarize this, then the teaching of electrochemistry, for example, cyclic voltammetry, has traditionally happened on glassy carbon electrodes. Glassy carbon electrodes can be over €200 or $200 each. For the same price, you can get 200 screen printed electrodes. In this article, we've shown how to activate our screen printed electrodes and how to get very classical results on our screen printed electrodes. And so now our screen printed electrodes are very suited, I would say, towards doing teaching labs, etc. at universities as well. So we did put some effort into that, and I think the clients were, or the collaborators were very interested. We also put some more, because we did visit this BESS conference, we did also put a blog out there about visiting Antwerp and about the conference itself. So that's there as well. And then finally, this is something that we will build up with time, but we've had this project running for a long time called FishTag. And FishTag is a program where we're actually implanting glucose and cortisol sensors into fish in order to monitor the health of fish. And I know there's a lot of interest in OEM projects for glucose monitoring around the world, and FishTag will really be that test case for Zimmer and Pico that we are building through this FishTag project, a really nice stack of technologies, and I think eventually these technologies will find themselves as an OEM solution to, because I know in India, for example, there's a lot of people interested in an OEM solution for CGM, and so the FishTag could be that that product, that technology stack, let's say. So I probably need to summarize up then. So every Sunday at 8 a.m. London time, we like to do this webinar where we cover the news from ZP for this week. It just feels very busy, and I think the blogs and the vlogs essentially cover that. You know, we've been to this BESS conference, that was good. We did report on that. We have highlighted the strength of our project management team. We've highlighted the fact that we've had our company meeting. The guys have had a little social event in Coventry. ZP is making a big move now into gas sensing. You'll see that those rigs that we have now for gas sensing are quite extensive. ZP is also getting into regulatory assurance and quality assurance. We're not getting in there, we're already there, but we're offering it as a service. Obviously, don't forget, every Thursday 8 a.m. London time, we do our webinar for the members of our ZP Developer Zone. And also, we see there's going to be a shift in the teaching of electrochemistry to not using things like glassy carbon electrodes, because these are actually, they're not really, a glassy carbon electrode is not something that can ever be productized, let's say. Whereas if you teach electrochemistry on platforms like screen printed electrodes, then you're giving the students an idea of how they can actually turn this into a product. And so we've been also supporting that effort as well. And then finally, yes, FishTag, we put a website up about it. FishTag will eventually become the OEM solution, especially for all the interest that we're getting, for example, from places like India. Okay, I will say thank you very much. And don't forget, we will do this again next Sunday at 8 a.m. If you have any technical questions from Zimmer and Peacock, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We do cover them every Thursday at 8 a.m. Thursday time, in our ZP Developer Zone webinar. Okay, well, thanks very much. Take care. And